Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.
This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. We're at Selhurst Park. We've just seen Chris Billam-Smith defend his WBO Cruiserweight World title against Richard Riakporhe. Delighted to be joined by boxer promoter Ben Shalom. Ben, great night in a packed-out stadium.
Fantastic night, fantastic atmosphere. Club were unbelievable in helping us create this tonight, but when you look over, when I was in the ring, looking at those ring walks and seeing the spectacle, it was phenomenal. But unfortunately, Chris Billam-Smith was just, when I say unfortunately, the fight, it was just levels above. I thought it was much wider than the scorecard suggested. I think Chris Billam-Smith has improved again and gone to another level. And anyone that bets against him is just crazy at this point. The guy, that was his third world title fight. He just gets better and better and better. He almost thrives on the occasion. I felt like he was weirdly enjoying it in there tonight, and fantastic performance, fantastic for him. Obviously gutted for Richard, but he'll be so disappointed in himself. He doesn't need me disappointed in him either. He just didn't get going, but I think that's to do with the man he was in the ring with.
You mentioned levels there. At this point, Chris Billam-Smith's not just proved he's a worthy world champion, he's actually an elite world champion. He's entered those realms now, hasn't he?
100% elite fighter. I mean, Richard is a phenomenal puncher. If you go 12 months ago, you'd probably say Lawrence and Richard are the top two cruiserweights in the country, and Chris is dispatched of them pretty comfortably. Richard will be gutted, and he is a lot better than he showed tonight, and maybe the occasion was just a step too great in front of his own fans. Did the stadium and the whole expectation get to him? He obviously went in there a favourite as well. But I think you don't realise, and I was speaking to Lawrence ringside as well, you don't realise what Chris brings until you're in the ring there with him, and the concentration levels and the intensity that he brings and the game plan that he brings. But I actually think, the best Chris Billam-Smith performance that I've seen since I promoted him, and to get better and better and better at world level, shows he's an elite fighter, shows he deserves to be here. Not many fighters win a world title and then defend it twice against very, very good opposition as well. Another stadium fight, and the fairy tale continues.
Shane mentioned it up there that he wants unifications before moving on to a potential undisputed fight with Riakporhe. It's your job to make that happen now, isn't it? And that is what's got to happen.
It has to. Look, he's done everything. He's ticked every box now. It has to be unifications. It has to be those title fights. His dream since I met him was fighting Bournemouth, but he had this crazy dream of fighting in Las Vegas, and now it might become possible, particularly with the Ramirez fight. Look, we'll assess options. He's not going to be short of options. I think there's a lot of fighters that love to get in the ring with Chris Billam-Smith, not just because I still think the other champions will feel like they can beat him, but also he brings a huge amount. Probably half the fans in here tonight he brought up from Bournemouth. He creates an atmosphere. The TV love him, and he's got such big fights to look forward to, and I think he's going to get a choice, really. I think he's in that position now where he can almost choose who he wants to fight.
Just very quickly, throughout the rest of the card, a very strange fight, I think you'll agree, between Ben Whittaker and Riakporhe. Headbutts, elbows, the works, but Whittaker showed his professionalism and did come through it in the end.
Yeah, for once it wasn't Ben getting in trouble, and it was Ezra. I couldn't believe it. There was an elbow in there, there was a headbutt in there. But to be fair, as you said, Ben could have gone overboard, and I've seen him lose his temper in the past, and he could have easily reacted to one of them. He kept it professional, kept it moving. I actually thought it was an elite performance. I thought the spectacle that he brings again was incredible. There's people that bought tickets in here tonight only to come and see Ben Whittaker. Next, it is a step up. He's got a headline next, and we'll be announcing that very soon. But did well not to react, kept it professional, kept it moving, showed us what he's all about, and big step up for him next.
Jack Massey calls an upset against Isaac Chamberlain. I spoke to both fighters after the fight. Isaac understandably wants the rematch, and Jack understandably wants to move on. But what does happen next?
I thought Jack won and was actually, you know, a deserved winner, a little, you know, won it probably by 2 or 3 rounds. But for me, was probably the slight favourite going in. Great fighter, very, very tough. I thought Isaac did really well to get back into it, and in the 8th, I think it was level, and he just didn't kick on. It was almost like he got back in, and then it sort of drifted away from him. But it was a fantastic fight. Isaac always brings a great fight, but delighted for Jack Massey, who now becomes a European champion, and there's some huge fights for him as well. But yeah, I think Vidal will be looking at that. Chef Clark will be looking at that. Is Jack Massey, Chef Clark the fight? Is Vidal Chamberlain? Is Vidal against Chamberlain the fight? I think there's some good domestic fights there.
Final one, we see the cooperation with Crystal Palace, Steve Parish, the fan zones. It was a proper event tonight. Do we need more of that kind of working in tandem with these big clubs, the big club owners, to make great events like this?
I think so. It opened his eyes, and he said he'd never seen the stadium this energised, and boxing brings that. And with the football clubs building their own brands and wanting to put themselves on the map, it was you have to have 2 to tango. You have to find a club that really wants to get behind their own. We had it with Bournemouth last year. We've got it with Crystal Palace. We're going to Barnsley next. So it definitely brings something different. And as you say, it's an event and it's a celebration of British boxing in the fan zone tonight. Despite the rain at the start of the night, it really, really filled up in there and created something very, very spectacular. So we want to keep doing this. And yeah, thank you to Steve Parish and Crystal Palace. They had a great time. And unfortunately for them, their man didn't win, but a great event nonetheless.
Ben Shalom, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.